Hey, it's James, Fathers, Rights, and Resources, hashtag how I got cussy. So do you want me to talk about the number one problem in dealing with the family court system, which is tied to the number one answer or the most important solution? Now, there's all kinds of things to do on a case in order to overcome and deal with the stuff, because the corruption and the bigotry against fathers isn't moving anytime soon. I'm talking about the number one practical problem that can be fixed, that stuff that you have control over. I'm talking about stuff you have control over. Do you want me to talk about that number one problem? Do you want me to talk about the number one solution that's related to it? Well, here's the issue. Most people, I talk about it all the time, but most people don't want to hear it. Why wouldn't you want to hear about the number one answer to fix your problems in family court? Because when I say it, it hurts your feelings and you don't like it and you want and wish it to be somebody else. The number one problem with family court, especially with men, is being afraid to fight, being afraid to stand up for yourself, being afraid to cite the law, being afraid to get on the offensive, being afraid to be aggressive, being afraid to keep your kids when there's no quarter, being afraid, the fear of it, being a little kitty cat, being a sissy. And the answer is to go even when you feel afraid or feel nervous. I did it all the time. I wasn't this bold, brazen, I'm not afraid of anything. I'd go to court scared, nervous, not wondering what was going to happen. But I knew I had to go for it. You know, Mike Tyson said he used to be scared to go into the ring. But once he was in there and got going, and once he stared down at his opponent, he knew he was prepared. But walking up to it and walking into the ring, he was super nervous and scared. Just imagine Mike Tyson being scared to fight. The biggest, baddest dude in the world at one time, arguably. So the number one problem is because I have to talk guys out of stuff all the time. I talked to a guy earlier this week. He doesn't have a court order. And his daughter, he has a few kids, his daughter wants to go with the mom. And I say, why do you let her go? Oh, because she doesn't want to go with me. Okay, well, why do you always, what if your kid doesn't want to brush her teeth or go to bed when she is with you? Don't you make her do stuff she doesn't want to do? Oh, well, she might throw a fit and might call the cops. I said, okay, what's the problem with that? Well, she might call the cops. I said, what's the problem with that? Well, she'll call the police. What's the problem with that? What if the police are called for you sitting in your home and somebody doesn't like the fact that you have your TV on at night? Would you be afraid of the cops coming? Or would you tell the cops, go away? That's not a crime. See, it's this fear that causes us to be doing this idiotic, moronic stuff. We're afraid to do stuff. And then he said, well, and then he came down to, oh, well, it will look bad in the court if I do that. Well, the mother's withholding the child from you right now. Why aren't you doing something about that? Or why are you afraid of doing something that she's gotten away with? Why are you voluntarily letting her do it? See, you guys get fearful, and once you're afraid, you look for excuses to remain in your comfort zone, because dealing with fear is a decision to move forward anyway, to go into the unknown, or to press forward when you don't have 100% assurance as to how things are going to work out. We do that with anything else in life, except when it comes to our kids. We turn into a bunch of scared little P words. And I keep talking. See, as long as this is the number one problem, I have to talk about it a lot. And I talk about it in my videos, and people watch my videos, and then I'll say something, yeah, I saw your video on that. Why are you arguing with me? One of your sissy, punk, coward excuses why you're not going to fight for your life with your kids. Why? How is this even possible? Somebody watches all my videos, or a bunch of them, and they say, yeah, I know the cops can't do anything. Yeah, I know. And then, well, what's the problem? And I have to ask 40 different times, different ways. I guess I'm just afraid of my baby's mom. That's what it comes down to. You guys are scared of the mother of your children. And that's it. And what are you scared of? You don't know. You're just scared. And you want a different solution other than confronting the monster. In World War II, we had to confront Hitler, and so did Britain, and they took casualties. And Winston Churchill said, we're going to get bombed, and some people are going to get killed. But it's either that, it's kill and taking casualties, or be killed in mass. Every heroic movie that we see that we all love, Braveheart, or Saving Private Ryan, or whatever, there's casualties along the way. And nothing happens or 300, or, nothing happens. When somebody moves forward and there's resistance, there's going to be some pushback and there's going to be competition. You don't get to just waltz through life and get what you want. And here's the other thing. Since when does my gender think that you're such an entitled diva that you should be able to walk through a discriminatory court and they're just going to cater to you because you have rights? Since when are you the first group of people, men, who have to go to family court, divorced men, men with babies' moms? Since when are you the only group of people in the history of the world who's being discriminated against or oppressed or maligned? You're supposed to be able to have a pass where you don't have to fight for your rights. There's all kinds of tragic, why do I have to fight for something that I should automatically have a right to? Why did black people have to fight for certain rights? Why did Native Americans have to fight to get, some traditions back? Why did the Japanese citizens in America get put in concentration camps when they were citizens? Why were their constitutional rights violated? Why did women have to fight in the women's suffrage movement? They got way more balls than my gender nowadays. This is the number one problem, and it's 90% of the problem. When guys turn around and they grow some balls and fight, the vast majority, there's some cases that are so far gone, it takes a miracle or it takes some relenting from the other side. Now, don't use that as an excuse, say, well, my case is so far gone. I've seen cases where dads are getting royally screwed, haven't seen their kids for years, and they grow some balls, and then within a month they're seeing their kids. Or the mother surrenders and gives in. Or the court helps them, and they prevail in court. So, but if you don't try, you don't get anything. You automatically lose when you don't try. If you try, you have a better chance to win than if you don't. I really shouldn't have to explain this to people, and this is why I'm only here for the guys who really want to fight. Now, there's guys who haven't been fighting, who've been cowards and stuff, and they don't want to be a coward anymore, or been a henpecked little PUSSY, and they don't want to do that anymore. I was a beta male most of my life. As soon as my baby's mom said, "You're not seeing your kids," I turned from Simba out in the oasis in The Lion King to Simba that had come to Jesus meeting with Mufasa in the clouds and said, "You know what? I'm the king of this jungle. You're the king of your kingdom. Your kingdom is your family. Okay, the mother left. You don't want to deal with the mother. You don't have a relationship with her. Fine. But that child is still part of my kingdom, and I'm the king in that kingdom. And the queen isn't going to be able to run and protect and lead the family or the children like I am. So go rescue your kids like the king that you are." Just think about it. If you saw The Lion King, just think about how frustrating it was in the movie for the characters or people in the audience. Like Simba is the king of the jungle. He's the heir in line, and he won't fight for his kingdom. And it's like, dude, you're a lion. Why are you over here frolicking like one of the characters, he was a boar. I forget what the other one was. Like, he's basically like a squirrel. Why are you out here frolicking like a little squirrel when you're a king? Why are you King Solomon and you're hanging out with the peasants? Or why are you, Putin or JFK, and then you're just hanging out with somebody who works at 7-Eleven or something? It's not becoming of a king to be frolicking and wallowing in the mud, being depressed about how oppressed you are and how life sucks. Warriors are made to go to war. Men are created and to be warriors. But we've been psychologically programmed to think we're a bunch of helpless little sissies, and we believe it. You can stay in the Matrix if you want, but I'm not going to come down to your cesspool of whining, crying, pissing, and moaning little baby woe is me bullcrap loser mentality and hang out with you for a while. You have to come up out of that. If you want to come up out of that, I'm on board ready to help you. So let's go. But as long as this is the problem, this is the problem. What do you want me to do? Lie to you? Oh, the problem is the way that you quote case law in your case. If you just do that, you'll win. No, the problem is you being a PUSSY. Stop doing that, and we'll solve 80% of the issues. All the other stuff just comes along with it because you're ready to fight. You just got to get the